Welcome to Newcastle Fans TV, and yous lot have spoken. It is the Twitter poll video which you guys have picked. Change of club captain. Interesting one. So it won quite convincingly. So it's been on the subject for quite a while there. I wanted to do the McCormick and Bamford link, but you guys have chosen this one. So I'm going to do it for you. It's all about Fans TV. Your choice, your video. So let's crack on with it. So the change of captain. So we know that Fabrizio Colaccini is club captain at the moment. Now, there's a few questions to run you through at the moment. The first one obviously being, would Colaccini stay at the club? Is he going to go in the summer? So let's pick two scenarios. Let's just pick that he's going to stay at the club. So Colaccini, does he remain club captain? Does he not? For me, no. Get rid of him, take it off him. He's not a leader. He doesn't show it in public either. Now, behind the dressing room, he could be. But for me, publicly, Colaccini is no leader. You need to take the captaincy armband. That's the first thing that Rafa Benitez needs to do before he signs any players, is take that away from him. Now, who are you going to give it to? Who are you going to give the captaincy to? Now, if you look at the squad, there's only a few candidates in my eyes. You've got Tim Krul, who's been there again for over 10 years. You've got Jamaal Lascelles, who grew into a leader for half a dozen of games at the back end of the season. You've got Jonjo Shelvey, who was given the captaincy in the absence of Colaccini's injury. And you probably argue the toss that if Moussa Sissoko somehow miraculously stays at the club, that he is also a candidate. So let's move on to the candidates of who could be captain. And I'm going to throw in something, a spanner in the works in a minute as well. So, looking at Tim Krul then. Now, Tim Krul, this is again, if he stays. He's only got 1 year left on his contract, Tim Krul. Now, for me, if Tim Krul stays, I think he is a bit of a leader in the dressing room. He's been there, he knows the Geordie dialect, he speaks perfect Geordie as well. He's a Dutch international. He is a leader, in my opinion. I don't think he's the greatest leader, don't get me wrong, but he does command. I think players will listen and respect Tim Krul because he knows the club inside out. So if Tim Krul stays, for me, he is one hell of a candidate for me. Let me know what you think in your comments down there below. The next one is Jamaal Lascelles, which I feel that some of you, most of you, are going to go for. Now, Jamaal Lascelles is still quite young, relatively young. He's grown into leadership, coming up and speaking publicly, saying this is not good enough. Newcastle should not be in this position. The fans deserve more. I think that's spot on what he's saying. Now, that's nice to hear, don't get me wrong, but is he going to be here in the long term? Probably is. If he keeps his performances up, him and Mbemba could form a formidable centre-back partnership. So Lascelles, again, is another candidate. He looks superb in the last 6 games. He grew from a boy into a man. Now, the Championship is a different level. We need a leader who knows the league inside out. So Jamaal Lascelles benefits from that, from being at Forest. The next one is Jonjo Shelvey. He had the captaincy armband. And to be fair, when he was given the captaincy armband, Newcastle had a little bit of a lift, if you remember. So for me, it's a difficult one. For me, I would not give Shelvey the captaincy because I think it gives him too much pressure. Benitez dropped Shelvey because of his work rate. He went and checked you in Jack Colback. Now, we know that Jonjo Shelvey is the better footballer than the pair of them probably put together. Going forward, Shelvey can spring Hollywood passes. He can score the odd goal. He can probably do a job out wide by delivery as well, by set pieces. He takes corners. So, for me, I wouldn't give Shelvey the captaincy armband because he also has that bad boy reputation coming from Liverpool and Swansea as well. So, for me, no. Moving on to Moussa Sissoko. Now, if Moussa Sissoko was somehow miraculously to stay at the Championship, which I don't think he will, Sissoko is another candidate because he looks so much up for it. Now, is he just doing that to get a move away from the club? Probably, but he looks so much better in the central midfield. I've been championing that since December. If you go back in December, watch some of the videos, I've been saying play Sissoko through the middle. And he looks, and the team looks a whole different side with him in the middle. Now, is that him showing leadership? Who knows? But for me, I would not give that to Moussa Sissoko personally, even if he was to stay at the club. And I'll tell you why in a minute. But I think he will leave in the summer anyways. Now, to throw a spanner in the works for you, I wouldn't give the captaincy to any of them at the moment. And I'll tell you why. Because if Newcastle bring in some transfer targets, which I'm sure Benitez will do, I think you've got to have to wait until Benitez brings his own players in and then assess the squad, even trial it in friendlies, give the captaincy a few different players and see who leads by example. It's not just on the pitch, it's also what the player represents Newcastle off the pitch. Charity dues, I mean, Colaccini, I can't remember off the top of my head how many dues he's been to. You're talking about a leader, someone who commands respect, who talks sense. For me, you're going to have to wait until Benitez brings in a player. Now, I've mentioned it on Talk the Tunes channel. Head over there and watch it. That if for example, players linked, such as Alvaro Arbeloa, if he was to come into the side, for me, he's a captaincy leader straight away. He has to be a candidate straight away because he's got experience. He's played with the best players. He knows football inside out. He can play across anywhere the back line. So for me, you're going to have to wait until players are brought in and then decide the captaincy. Let me know what you think and your captain for Newcastle's next season in your comments section below. Thanks for watching Newcastle Fans TV. See you later.